Hey guys, welcome to Home Sweet Homeschool. My name is Ashley and I'm a homeschooling mom to one. And today I'm participating in a collab that's hosted by Christy from One Blessed Mess. So make sure you go and check her out and all the other mamas that will be listed in the playlist. And we're sharing a typical homeschool day. Now at our house, we're super relaxed. We love to do unit studies. We love to do interest-led learning. And we also know that when we've been in the house too long and it's rained every single day for the past 5 days, we know when we need to get out of the house. So it is kind of typical for us to leave the house and go on a field trip. So since we've been in our home for about 5 days straight, because it's rained and flooded and stormed and snowed, it's done all of that in the last couple of days. I was like, you know what, tomorrow we are going to go somewhere. We're going to get out of the house and we're going to go somewhere. So I went to Facebook and went to the events page. I follow a couple of museums that are close to us, not super close because we live in a really small town, but it's over an hour away. And we are going to go to their homeschool day. They have a homeschool day every month, and this month is all about circuits. And so I thought my son would really enjoy that, and then we can look around the museum and visit the gift shop and then probably go and get lunch. So I'm just going to take you on what a typical day kind of looks like for us because we do this quite often. So I hope you enjoy our day in the life. So we're getting gas, and I got my protein shake. And we got Daniel in the back with his G.I. Joe figures, and he wants you to check out his latest video on D3's Toy World if you've got young kiddos that watch YouTube. And we're about to hit the road. We made it, and it's actually not raining. Super surprising. So it's a Civil War locomotive history. This is the outside of it, and so we're going to go in and start their homeschool.
Right. So, light bulb, power source, 2 wires. Can you make a light bulb turn on? Yep. Can you make it turn on? The clip's tough, so if you need help, let me know. So, this is a simplified version of what happens in the wall. You have like a light switch on the wall, you flip it up.
So it starts from the battery, goes to the light, through the light, and then back to the battery.
So what I need you to do is
Thank you for attending today's homeschool
draw a
workshop.
straight line from this circle.
With the wires that we're using, you don't want them to cross. So you want to yeah, that's okay.
Just got pretty much a straight line,
Totally
yep.
fine.
There you go.
That looks good. Okay, so the wires that we're using is this copper tape. And it's like a sticker sticking on the back. It is only conductive on the top, not on the sticky side.
Pretty much
okay?
this, like
so you're going to want to start it here and then run it underneath one of the legs of your light. Okay, so we're going to start right here.
And you want it to come out, so when you put the light bulb through here, you fall,
okay, and then you can pull
spread
the
out,
sticker
touch the space.
so it pulls out.
Let's see what you got. So you gotta peel the bottom of it off. The bottom part is sticky.
It's underneath the leg of your...
Can you help let me know? Because these can be a bit of a pain.
Take your time because this stuff is really hard to work with too.
There you go.
Get it under my leg.
To raise the
So
wire
you're gonna
up.
put that. There you go. So put about halfway into the circle.
Okay, so we are going to push this down real good here.
Have it come about right
Make
here.
sure it's solid. That was good. We're just going to make that right there. Perfect. Okay, we're going to do the same thing here. So we're going to start at the side of the battery
Right there.
and go all the way underneath that
Down,
arm.
make it
Okay.
flat. Awesome. Now do the same thing with this one from this side.
Maybe peel the tape a little at a time and press down as you peel it off. That way. There you go.
Try to bend it over so it'll reach.
And you're gonna go out this way. Follow your other line.
Does it go?
Go. Perfect.
Okay.
Now,
So we're going to test this out. As with all science projects, it doesn't
your
always
light
work the
bulb.
first time, and that's okay.
produce
So we're going to put this here, and we're going to flip over this edge so that this top touches the top of the battery. Because this is your positive side, that's your negative side, okay? now we're gonna make sure that these legs are touching the wires on this side. Oh, did you see it? Okay. You gotta like see how it's like kind of fluctuating like that? That tells me a couple things. That your connections are not super solid, which is normal. So this, remember with the other one, if you had one thing unhooked, it's just harder to tell here if things are hooked or not, okay? It's science, I promise. So you just kind of have to be patient with it. Once you get it working though, I recommend once on your final project, use some scotch.
Now he's going to build a lot of inventions, so it has directions, gathered materials. So what's your idea?
A city.
And build a city that lights up. Okay. So this clip is just going to show us while we were sitting at the table. There were tons of tables set up in there and a whole table in the back just full of all kinds of materials for the kids to build with. So he had changed his mind from a city to a power plant. So he's just creating. He's cut holes to put the pipe cleaners through, and he's got a couple of other pieces that he's working with so that he can make this light up when he's all finished. Okay, tell me about what you made. What is
So
this?
I made like a little power plant.
Is that the power pole?
Yes.
Okay, show me how it lights up. Oh, look at there. Major circuits to make it light up. There's some things about trains, Daniel. We're on the rails. Here at the museum, they have a neat thing called Create a Postcard for a Veteran. So they have postcards out and pencils, and they even have a little place you can mail it. I think that's so sweet. And then that's where you can send it to if you want to mail it to someone. So Daniel's working on his postcard. What a neat little idea. This is where they made their patterns, Daniel, for the railroads and the gears. You want to come look at this? Patterns from image to reality.
That's cool.
It's a pattern. You hold it down really good. You can see it.
Yep.
So he's making a wheel, and they have a bunch of other ones that you can do. You can do the pattern. Let me see your wheel. Awesome sauce. And then real quick, I wanted to show you what they had today. So this is their homeschool workshop, Shocking Circuits. They tell you all the activities and then where you need to go. And so they have it all laid out for you. It's really organized. This is their education center. It's kind of set up like a little town. And of course, who doesn't want to build train tracks? We have a huge train where you can simulate driving.
About 3 loops and it comes to a stop. So there's got to be a better way to run toy trains. Fortunately, whenever there's a big leap in technology, you know it's going to come to toys eventually. That's that motor. So you're activating that, and that's blowing air into the fan,
Cool.
and that blows a whistle. It's a plastic whistle chamber inside. So trains never sound the same. Yep.
So this right here is what they would wear when they weren't in war and like they were in parades and all that stuff. And that's what they would wear in war, so their head didn't get shot.
Makes sense. Okay.
I know a lot about war.
I know you do. Oh, look, there's some medals. So he's trying to, it's a pegboard challenge. Build a set of ramps to move a ball from the top to the bottom as slowly as possible. And it's becoming a challenge, but I think he can figure it out. By putting his hand there. Keep working. Figure out what you can put right there so that it doesn't fall off. Uh-oh. Okay, so well, we figured this part out. You got that figured out. Now you got to figure out how to make that not fall off. So it's got to move slowly. It's a fun little challenge. You got to use a peg to hold it up. Yeah, and you can even add some to the bottom of it to try to hold it up. Those are some good ideas. All right, show me about the signals, how they're different from a stopwatch.
So, if you look on this one,
Okay.
that's what we see for go.
Okay. Wow, hold on. This one's like super loud. Hold on just a second. All right, so show me
This
what
one,
we see.
That's what we see. And this
Okay.
is what trains see.
So train sees straight down the middle. Okay. Show me caution.
We see this while trains see diagonally.
Okay.
Stop, we see red when they see just across.
Awesome. Okay, go ahead. He's controlling the train. Takes a second, doesn't it? Yeah. Oh, let it go. There it goes. Oh, goodness. But once it starts going. So this is at the top of the ceiling. And it runs down the track to this little bridge here. Oh, you're going to beat him? Okay. I think you did. And then it has this really neat tunnel that you can go through. You want to go through the tunnel? I'm going to show them what's in here. Cool train tunnel. If your kiddos love trains, this is awesome. And then look at this. Look at that. So here it talks about the tools that were used on the railroad, and you lift up the flap and you read about each one. This is in the train museum and came out to a train. Perfect timing. There's Daniel inside of the red caboose. We're going to go in and check it out. This is outside of the museum. And it's a train car. Apologize for the lighting, but there's the coal bin. Oh, look at that furnace. Stationary. We have a passenger here relaxing on the train. How awesome is this? So this is outside of the museum for you to come and check out. When we go to the museum, we always stop afterwards at this park, and it's a perfect day because there's like nobody here, which my son probably doesn't like, but it's usually super crowded. But this is perfect for homeschool PE. There's a huge field, there's climbing, there's swings, there's tennis, there's a skate park, and then all of this stuff. He loves coming here afterwards, and it's a great way to get some exercise. So park days are always fun. Come on, show me a good spin. Woo-hoo. Go the other way. And we discovered another side of the playground that's even cooler than the side we just came from. And I think Daniel's meditating on the spinny chairs. So we had fun at the park and at the museum. but we were tired and my son was a little ill by the time we left all that because he did get up a little bit earlier than usual. So we did pick up lunch when we got closer to home for him. I didn't want McDonald's. That's not a treat for me, but it is for him. I'm eating some Skinny Pop. If you've never tried Skinny Pop kettle corn, get you some. I'm probably going to eat me some lunch here in just a few minutes. And then I think the only other thing we're going to do, I normally, if we go on a field trip, we don't do any other homeschool work because I feel like the field trip is an experience enough. I mean, you learn enough on a field trip to not worry about it. But he had done some work on Khan Academy yesterday, and on the side of Khan Academy, it will fill up this little tower if you get them all correct. Well, he had missed a few because he tried to do them in his head instead of writing them down on paper. And so he wanted to know if he could redo that lesson and fill up that little tower. So of course I'm like, yeah, that's great. I think he understands the concept. Just by not writing it down, he put the numbers in the wrong place. So he's going to work on that today, and that's really about all we'll do for this homeschooling day. So I'll show you that and we'll see what else happens. Daniel's had lunch and he's decided to do his Khan Academy where he missed a few yesterday. So he's working on redoing that lesson, and that will be all he does for today. This is what I wanted to show you on Khan Academy. If you do not, okay, here's some. If you get them right, the little tower fills all the way up to the top. But if you miss them, which is totally fine, it's going to leave it not all the way full. And so he had this problem yesterday, so he's just going to, not problem, it's a couple of problems. He's going to go back in and make sure he actually writes them on notebook paper. And he'll come and do these problems again so that he can fill that tower up before he moves on to the next part. Well, guys, our homeschool day is finished, and I know some of you are probably thinking, that is not a typical day. That's not what my homeschool day looks like. Did they even learn anything? And I just want you to remember that everybody's homeschool day looks different. We all use different curriculums, we all have different philosophies, and we all have different things that are important to us. But one thing that I know is it's so important to gauge how things are going in your house. And if you know you need to get out of the house, figure out a way to do it. It doesn't have to cost any money. You could do field trips to the park, to a nature center, to the library, to a coffee shop. You can take your homeschool outside of the four walls of your house, and I promise the learning is still going to happen. We learned a lot today. We got to talk about the Great Locomotive Chase, we got to talk about the Civil War, and we even had that bonus lesson all about circuits, which is something we've never done in our house, and maybe that will spark an interest. That's not something we've ever used, so it was fun to introduce my son to something new. So if you're looking for a day where I walk you through our curriculum, I do have some day in the life videos on that. I have a do a lesson with us where you go through a space unit study with us, and you can definitely check that out. I also plan on making some interest-led learning day in the life videos because that's what we're trying to transition to. So I'm gonna make some of those videos if you're interested. But this was a typical day for us because it's very typical of me to load me and him up and go on a field trip. So thank you so much for watching. Please leave any comments or questions below, and please check out the other mamas in the playlist.